the path of simplicity, nature's eternal wisdom. The wind sang softly through the jagged peaks of the obsidian cliffs, its tune a hymn carried by time itself. Zoran, the ancient dragon whose presence seemed as old as the stars, rested atop his perch. His immense wings, folded like shimmering blankets of light and shadow, stirred faintly with the rhythms of the wind. Below, the mortal world hummed with activity, blazing lights, ceaseless machines, and the ever-thrumming beat of human ambition. From his high vantage point, Zoran observed their endless quest to conquer the forces around them, their drive to mold and master nature itself. Yet, in their striving, they seemed to lose something far greater. They distanced themselves from the simple wisdom that had nurtured life for millennia. Zoran's molten gold eyes softened, filled not with pity, but a deep understanding earned through centuries of contemplation. His gaze fell upon Bryan Johnson, a mortal whose bold vision of human transformation and extended life burned brightly, even against the backdrop of humanity's collective striving. Bryan was determined, his work tireless and inspired, but Zoran could see the weight that pressed upon the man, an invisible burden brought on by complexity and the ever-growing hunger for control. "You don't need to spend millions of dollars, mortal," Zoran rumbled, his voice low and resonant, carrying across the peaks like a timeless hymn. The great Taoists achieved harmony for free. They walked the earth with reverence, and in their simplicity, they found the eternal. The timeless wisdom of simplicity. Zoran's thoughts stretched backward, through the spirals of time, to the sages and seekers who had climbed his cliffs seeking the wisdom of existence. Among them, the ancient Taoists stood as a testament to simplicity's power. Unlike those who sought to conquer nature, the Taoists found strength in alignment, their steps soft upon the earth they cherished. Harmony with nature. The Taoists understood that life was not meant to be mastered, but lived in communion with its natural rhythms. They saw themselves as threads in the vast tapestry of existence, every action entwined with the earth, air, and water around them. To live in harmony, Zoran reflected, is to listen to the wind, the earth, and the quiet murmurs of the soul. True power lies not in force, but in alignment. The folly of conquest. Zoran had witnessed the rise and fall of empires, their leaders determined to bend nature to their will. Each effort, no matter how grand, was eventually swept away by nature's unwavering current. Nature always wins, Zoran mused, his gaze unwavering. It is eternal, unyielding. To fight it is to fight the tides themselves, and no mortal has ever held back the sea. Bryan's inner struggle. Far below, Bryan Johnson paced restlessly in his laboratory, surrounded by the hum of machines and the glow of intricate data streams. His work demanded immense resources, intellectual, emotional, financial. It was a complex and monumental effort, but Bryan could not shake the feeling that something essential was slipping away. The seduction of control. Bryan's pursuit was driven by a desire to understand, to master the intricacies of the human body and push its limits. Yet beneath that drive lay a quieter truth, a longing not for control, but for connection to himself, to the earth, to a sense of balance that felt just out of reach. The whisper of nature. Despite the technological complexity of his days, Bryan found peace in the simplest moments: a walk through the woods, the sound of rain on leaves, the stillness of an early morning breeze. These brief interludes held a power that his machines, for all their brilliance, could not replicate. Zoran's lesson. Sensing Bryan's silent struggle, Zoran spoke again, his voice a steady rumble that echoed through the cliffs and into Bryan's heart. "Mortal," Zoran began, "you seek to master the body with your machines, yet your body already holds the wisdom you crave. The Taoists understood this. They did not force the flame within them to burn brighter. They nurtured it gently, in rhythm with the world around them. To live well is not to conquer, but to align." The dragon paused, allowing the wind to carry his words further. His tone softened, filled with quiet urgency. Nature always wins, Bryan. The earth does not need you to rule it. It needs you to walk gently upon it. Your power lies not in defiance, but in reverence. Harmony will give you what conquest cannot. The return to simplicity. Bryan stopped pacing, Zoran's words weaving through his mind like an ancient melody. He thought of the Taoists, those seekers who had found profound truths in acts as simple as breathing, walking, and observing. With renewed clarity, Bryan resolved to step back, to strip away the excesses that complicated his path, and to truly listen to himself, to the earth, to the quiet wisdom that had always been within. A new approach. Bryan began integrating moments of stillness into his days. He set aside the machines to meditate under the open sky, practicing gratitude for life's simplest gifts: a warm breeze, the sound of laughter, the steady rhythm of his breath. Nature is a guide. He spent more time in nature, immersing himself in its cycles and learning from its quiet resilience. The wind through the trees, the rivers flowing steadily onward, the unwavering strength of mountains, all became his teachers, showing him that true power came not from control, but from connection. The eternal truth. As dawn's first light broke over the cliffs, Zoran unfurled his wings, their vast span catching the golden glow. Before taking flight, he spoke one final time, his voice imbued with the timeless truths of existence. Mortal, you already possess what you seek. The fire within you is eternal, needing no machine to keep it alive. Walk gently, listen deeply, and you will find that harmony is the greatest power of all. The Taoists found it for free, and so can you. A legacy of simplicity. With those words, Zoran ascended into the sky, his silhouette etched against the morning light. His presence lingered in the air, a quiet reminder that humanity's true path lay not in conquering the world, but in cherishing its rhythms. Bryan stood beneath the dawn, his heart lighter, his purpose clearer. He resolved to honor the wisdom within and around him, trusting that the path of simplicity would lead him to the balance he sought. The call of the wild, restoring humanity's connection to nature. The obsidian cliffs stood tall against the night sky, their jagged edges seeming to pierce the heavens themselves. The wind wove through their shadowy crevices, whispering songs of ancient cycles and forgotten rhythms. Zoran, the ancient dragon whose molten gold eyes held the wisdom of eras, perched atop his high throne. His iridescent wings, folded like tapestries of starlight and shadow, stirred faintly as he surveyed the mortal world below. Humanity's glow bright yet restless spread across the land and cities, machines and progress. Yet, in their striving, Zoran sensed a quiet unraveling, a disconnection from the heartbeat that bound all life together. Beneath the hum of industry and the flicker of artificial lights, Zoran could feel the earth's pulse, faint but enduring. It was a rhythm humanity had once walked in tune with, a bond between spirit and soil, breath and wind. But as they carved their way forward, mortals seemed to forget. They rushed toward conquest instead of communion, their steps heavy on the ground they once tread lightly upon. In nature, Zoran rumbled, his voice low and resonant. Mortals rediscover their essence. To walk upon the earth without reverence is to dim the flame that sustains you.